Yeah, we felt going in the deadline we had enough offense. So obviously, that's driven by McDavid and Draisaitl, but we felt other guys can contribute also. And offense generation wasn't an issue for us, whether it's creating chances or scoring goals. And what it was is we wanted to get better defensively, and we have gotten better defensively. A lot of it on emphasis on what we can do with our systems.
Something big is happening inside the Edmonton Oilers, and it's not just goals or highlights. Connor McDavid is doing something on the ice that is turning heads across the NHL, and it directly involves Leon Draisaitl. The same play keeps repeating, the same result keeps coming, and teams still cannot stop it. But what this really means is just starting to surface. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl continue to lead the Edmonton Oilers offense during the final stretch of the NHL season. Both players are among the top scorers in the league, and their production has remained steady across recent games. Their combined points account for a large share of the team's total scoring, and this pattern has been consistent in multiple matchups, but the way those points are created has drawn even more attention. Recent games show repeated offensive structure. McDavid carries the puck with speed through the neutral zone and enters the offensive zone with control. He shifts laterally, pulling defenders toward him. At the same time, Draisaitl positions himself near the face-off circle or weak side lane. The play often ends with a cross-ice pass from McDavid followed by a one-timer shot from Draisaitl. This sequence has produced several goals and has been used again and again, but teams have struggled to stop it. On the power play, this connection becomes even more clear. Edmonton's power play unit ranks among the most effective in the league. McDavid controls the puck near the half wall, directing movement and waiting for the right moment. Draisaitl sets up in his usual spot, ready for a quick shot. The puck moves quickly between players, then reaches Draisaitl for a direct attempt on goal. Despite defensive pressure, this setup continues to generate scoring chances, and the results have remained strong. After one of these games, McDavid spoke about the team's approach. He said, "We know what works for us, and we keep going back to it." This statement reflects the Oilers' reliance on their established system. The team does not change its core strategy often. Instead, it repeats what produces results, especially when both McDavid and Draisaitl are involved in the same play. Statistical trends support this approach. When both players record multiple points in a game, the Oilers have a much higher chance of winning. In games where they are limited, the team's scoring drops. This link between their performance and team success has been visible throughout the season, and it continues to shape how opponents prepare for Edmonton. When the Oilers need offense, the puck often moves through McDavid first, and the final shot frequently comes from Draisaitl. But this pattern has created a clear focal point for opponents. Game footage from recent matchups shows how quickly these plays develop. McDavid accelerates through defenders, often carrying the puck across the blue line with control. As defenders shift toward him, space opens on the opposite side. Draisaitl reads this movement and adjusts his position. The pass comes fast, and the shot follows immediately. These plays take only a few seconds to complete, leaving little time for defenders to react, but teams continue to study this setup closely. In one recent performance, McDavid recorded multiple assists, with each one connecting directly to Draisaitl. The scoring plays followed nearly identical patterns. Analysts reviewing the game noted that defenders were aware of the setup, but could not close the gap in time. The execution remained precise, and the timing between both players stayed consistent. This repetition has made their connection one of the most effective offensive tools in the league. Draisaitl also addressed the team's approach during media coverage. He said, "We just try to keep it simple and play our game." This statement reflects how the Oilers maintain their structure. They do not rely on complex systems in these moments. Instead, they focus on speed, positioning, and timing between their top players. But the situation becomes more intense as the season moves forward. Advanced metrics provide further detail. Both players rank high in expected goals and high danger scoring chances. These numbers show that their opportunities are not only frequent, but also effective. McDavid's role in creating chances remains central. He controls zone entries and distributes the puck. Draisaitl's role as a finisher allows him to convert those chances at a high rate. This balance between playmaking and finishing continues to drive the Oilers' offense. Coaching decisions also reflect this dependence. McDavid and Draisaitl are often deployed together during critical moments, including power plays and late-game situations. Their ice time remains high compared to other players on the roster. This usage pattern shows how much the team depends on their production. especially when games become close. Opponents have adjusted their defensive strategies, focusing more attention on limiting space and reducing passing lanes. However, even with these adjustments, both players continue to generate scoring chances. The speed of execution and accuracy of passing remain difficult to counter. As playoff positioning becomes more important, this connection between McDavid and Draisaitl continues to shape the Oilers' performance, and the pressure around this duo keeps growing with every game played.
You're just about to send your team out onto the ice, and you've got to tell them your boss just got fired. Good luck with that. That situation Craig Berube found himself in last night. To talk about it, here's the coach, Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, you went through a similar scenario in the past. What's that like?
Well, it's not a lot of fun, I can tell you that, and both for the coach and for the players, because A, you don't want to distract them from the game, but B, you start to think, okay, he was my guy, he was the guy I was hanging on to. If he's gone, what's my situation?
Shockwaves hit the Toronto Maple Leafs after a sudden front office move, and within hours, attention shifted straight to the bench. Pressure started building around Craig Berube as reports linked past NHL patterns to what could happen next. Nothing has been confirmed, but the silence from management is raising serious concern, and the situation is still unfolding. The focus around Craig Berube intensified immediately after the management change inside the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. In the NHL, when a general manager leaves or is removed, attention often shifts toward the head coach. This pattern has been observed in multiple teams over recent seasons. The Maple Leafs situation now follows that same structure, and it has placed Berube under direct scrutiny. Recent team performance added to this pressure. The Maple Leafs have recorded mixed results in their last few games. In one match, they secured a 2-1 overtime win against the Anaheim Ducks. Reuters reported, John Tavares nets OT winner, Maple Leafs down Ducks. That result showed the team's ability to close tight games, but it did not remove concerns about consistency. In another game, the Leafs faced a heavy loss against the St. Louis Blues. Reuters stated, Blues stay hot, crush Maple Leafs. The team conceded 6 goals in that match. Defensive breakdowns were visible early in the game. The Blues maintained control throughout, and the Leafs were unable to recover. This result increased discussion around team structure and in-game adjustments. As these results came in, media coverage across Canada began focusing on coaching decisions. Analysts pointed to defensive organization and game management. The combination of a close win and a heavy loss created a mixed performance pattern. This inconsistency became a key topic in discussions about the team's direction. Craig Berube addressed the situation in a recent interview. According to Sportsnet, he said, "It's been my life." The statement referred to his long career in hockey. He acknowledged the uncertainty around his position. Reports noted that he is aware of the pressure but continues to focus on his role. His comments did not indicate any change in status, but they reflected the ongoing situation. The situation around Craig Berube did not slow down after the initial reaction. Instead, discussion expanded across league coverage as analysts compared this case to past NHL decisions. In several teams, a change at the general manager level was followed by a coaching adjustment within a short period. This pattern has been referenced repeatedly in recent reports, and it continues to shape expectations. Berube's coaching record remains part of the conversation. He led the St. Louis Blues to a Stanley Cup in 2019. That achievement is documented as a major milestone in his career. However, current evaluations are focused on present team performance. In professional hockey, past results do not guarantee job security. This standard applies across all teams, and the Maple Leafs are no exception. Attention has also turned toward game structure and execution. In the loss to St. Louis, the Leafs allowed 6 goals. The defensive unit showed gaps in coverage. Early goals changed the pace of the game. The Blues maintained pressure, and the Leafs could not regain control. This match has been used as a reference point in ongoing analysis, and it added to concerns about consistency. At the same time, the overtime win against Anaheim showed a different outcome. The team limited scoring chances and secured a narrow victory. John Tavares scored the deciding goal in overtime. The result confirmed that the team can perform under pressure. However, the contrast between games has remained a central issue in coverage, and it continues to draw attention. Media outlets have maintained focus on Berube's position. Sportsnet reports emphasized his awareness of the situation. His statement, "It's been my life," has been widely cited. It reflects his long-term involvement in hockey, but does not address future decisions. No official confirmation has been provided by team management, and that has kept uncertainty in place. The Maple Leafs schedule adds another layer to this situation. The team is playing games within short intervals. Limited recovery time affects performance and preparation. Each result now carries more weight due to the stage of the season. Analysts have noted that upcoming games could influence internal evaluations, and this has increased focus on immediate outcomes.
Here's William Nylander from today on what he has seen this year and maybe what he thinks has possibly gone wrong with the Leafs.
You look back at it and go, you kind of wish the team had done something different, like played different, or I don't know. When you look back at it, do you see the mistakes that as they piled up, kind of?
I mean, I have like my thoughts about maybe some stuff, but I mean that's something I'm going to keep to myself.
Okay. So yeah, Willie's not going to reveal it, not surprisingly, and I don't think he shouldn't just sit there and start throwing daggers.
Silence can be louder than anything, and William Nylander just proved it in a way no one expected. After a season full of pressure and criticism, he faced the media, and instead of explaining, he gave one cold sentence that instantly spread across the NHL. No details, no emotion, just silence. And now, that silence is raising questions no one can answer. Yet, the moment happened quickly, but it changed the entire conversation around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Reporters asked William Nylander a direct question about the season. It was a normal question. Players are asked this all the time, especially after a difficult stretch. Most players respond with simple answers. They talk about effort, mistakes, or what needs to improve. Nylander did not do that. He paused, stayed calm, and gave a short answer. He said, "Something I'm going to keep to myself." That was the full response. He did not add anything else. He did not explain what he meant. He did not go into details about the team or the season. The interview moved on, but the moment did not. This response quickly became a major talking point across hockey media. According to Sportsnet, Nylander chose not to explain where the season went wrong. The report confirmed that he declined to share his thoughts publicly when asked directly. That choice stood out immediately. Players usually give structured answers in these situations. They often say the team needs to be better or that small mistakes made a big difference. These answers are common. They are expected. Nylander's response did not follow that pattern. It was short, it was controlled, and it gave nothing away. Another report from Toronto Sun also highlighted this moment. The article explained that Nylander clearly has opinions about the season, but decided not to share them. The focus was not on what he said, but on what he chose not to say. That made the moment different. The Maple Leafs have been under heavy pressure. Expectations were high throughout the season. Media coverage has been constant. Players have faced repeated questions about performance, effort, and results. Nylander has been part of that environment. His response came during that pressure. It did not include frustration or anger. His tone stayed neutral, his words stayed limited. But the message was still clear. He was not going to explain his thoughts. That decision created a strong reaction. The reaction to that moment grew quickly, and the focus shifted from the team's performance to Nylander's response itself. Media coverage continued to highlight the same quote. The sentence, "Something I'm going to keep to myself," was repeated across broadcasts and articles. It became the main reference point in discussions about the Toronto Maple Leafs. This level of attention did not come from length or detail. It came from what was missing. According to Sportsnet, Nylander has often handled media in a controlled and private way. He does not regularly share deep internal thoughts in interviews. That pattern helps explain the response, but it does not fully remove the impact of the moment because the situation was different. The question was about a full season. It came during a period when the team was under strong public evaluation. In these moments, players are expected to give insight, even if it is limited. Nylander chose not to provide that insight. That choice became the story. Coverage from Toronto Sun emphasized that Nylander had thoughts on the season but decided not to reveal them. The article did not include any further explanation from him. The original quote remained the only direct comment. No follow-up changed that. Nylander did not expand on his answer in later interviews. He did not clarify what he meant. The single sentence remained unchanged. That consistency kept the focus on the original moment. The absence of detail continued to drive attention. In most interviews, players respond with repeated phrases. They talk about improving, learning, or moving forward. These responses create a predictable pattern. Nylander's response did not fit that pattern. It stood apart because it avoided those phrases completely. That difference increased its visibility. The quote continued to appear in headlines and discussions. Analysts referenced it when talking about the team. The response became part of a larger conversation about media interaction and player communication. But the content of the response never never changed. It stayed as one sentence, delivered once with no addition. That is what kept the moment active in coverage. A single answer, without detail, without expansion, and without revision, remained at the center of attention, and even as the discussion grew, the original message stayed exactly the same. Connor McDavid just hit a number that changes how the NHL looks at him forever. One goal made history, but what happened seconds later shocked everyone watching. The crowd reacted, the bench stood up, and the league took notice. This was not just another milestone. Something bigger was unfolding on the ice, and the full impact was only starting to become clear. Connor McDavid entered the game already, leading as one of the top scorers in the NHL. During the second period, he received the puck in open space and completed a scoring play that marked his 400th career goal. Official NHL records confirm that reaching 400 goals places a player into a rare group. Fewer than 100 players in league history have reached this number, and the pace at which McDavid achieved it drew immediate attention. The goal came during even strength play. There was no power play advantage. Game reports confirm that the Oilers were controlling possession during that shift. McDavid moved through the neutral zone, with speed entered the offensive zone, and finished the play with a clean shot past the goaltender. The moment was quickly confirmed by league tracking systems, and the broadcast displayed the milestone as it happened, but the sequence did not stop there. Shortly after scoring his 400th goal, McDavid scored again. This second goal became number 401. It happened in the same game within a short span of time. Reuters reported Connor McDavid hit the 400-goal milestone and added another as the Oilers secured the win. That update confirmed both goals as part of a single performance, and it shifted the focus from just the milestone to the speed at which he moved beyond it. The Oilers continued to apply offensive pressure after the goals. McDavid remained active in play, contributing to multiple scoring chances. Game summaries show that he recorded more than just goals, as he remained involved in puck movement and offensive setups. His presence on the ice continued to affect the pace of the game, and opposing defenders were forced to adjust their positioning. Career data shows that McDavid has reached every major scoring milestone at a fast rate. Since entering the NHL in 2015, he has consistently produced high numbers each season. He reached 100 goals, then 200, and then 300 in fewer games than many players in the modern era. The 400 goal mark follows the same pattern, and that consistency has been tracked across official league statistics, but this latest moment added a new level to the discussion. McDavid's current total places him among the top active goal scorers in the NHL. Updated league data shows that his scoring rate remains steady across seasons. He has not shown long scoring gaps, and game logs confirm consistent production year after year. This pattern has been a key factor in how quickly he reached 400 goals, and it continues to shape how teams prepare to face him. The Oilers system relies heavily on speed and puck control. McDavid plays a central role in that structure. In the milestone game, his goals follow the same pattern seen throughout his career. He carried the puck through the neutral zone, created space, and finished plays under pressure. Shot data from the game confirms that both goals came from high probability scoring areas, which reflects his ability to position himself effectively during offensive plays. Defensive matchups against McDavid often involve top defensive pairings. Opposing teams attempt to limit his time with the puck by closing gaps early and applying pressure in the neutral zone. Despite these efforts, recent game reports show that he continues to generate scoring chances at a high rate. His speed allows him to move past defenders quickly, and this factor was visible again during the milestone performance. Statistical comparisons place McDavid among the fastest players to reach 400 goals in the salary cap era. Historical data shows that many players who reach this mark go on to surpass 500 goals. Based on current scoring trends and age-related performance models, projections indicate that he remains on pace for higher milestones if production continues at the same level, and that projection has been included in multiple reports following the game. The timing of the milestone also aligns with the later stage of the regular season. Teams are competing for playoff positions, and performance during this period carries added importance. Game results show that the Oilers secured a win during the milestone match, linking individual achievement with team success. This connection has been noted in post-game coverage, as McDavid's scoring directly contributed to the outcome. Broadcast footage confirmed the exact moments of both goals. Commentators acknowledged the milestone in real time, and replays were shown across multiple angles. The sequence of goal number 400, followed quickly by 401, remained a central focus in coverage. This rapid progression changed how the event was viewed, shifting it from a single milestone to a broader performance moment that continued to draw attention after the game ended.
Ottawa Senators fans think they know what the Leafs lacked the most on the ice as they were chanting, "You need Marner, you need Marner," on the weekend. The question is, what do you think the Leafs actually need the most? A right winger for Austin Matthews, a right shot puck-moving D-man, or a power play QB, or perhaps a second-line center? There's a lot of options there, Cheryl.
They need a right winger for Austin Matthews. Ottawa fans know exactly what the Leafs need. Look, Matthews went from 69 goals to would have been over 40 last year if it had stayed healthy for all 82 games, and now to 27 goals this year. They need somebody to set him up.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are facing a moment that could change everything. Behind the scenes, pressure is building around one of their biggest stars.